Now, Alison. Okay.
Good evening, councillors and members of the public. Welcome to Faversham Town Council planning meeting, Monday the 21st of December. We're nearly there. The Mayor will allow maximum of 15 minutes for members of the council to receive questions from registered electors for the town before the formal meeting commences. This meeting may be filmed or recorded. At the start of the meeting, the Mayor will confirm if all or part of the meeting is being filmed or audio recorded. That is so. The whole of the meeting will be recorded, except where there are confidential or exempt items. If any member of the public has an objection to being filmed, please make yourself known to the Mayor or to the Town Clerk before the start. Thank you. Have we any questions from the public? I think that is a no. No questions. So we could move on to the agenda. Apologies and acceptance of reasons for absence.
Apologies received from councillors Hook and Irwin.
Thank you. 2 declarations of pecuniary and non-pecuniary interests. Members who have an interest to declare must declare the existence and nature of it at the start of the meeting and act in accordance with the Council's Code of Conduct S27 Localism Act 2011. Any? No? No? So we can swiftly move on to item 3, to receive and accept as a true record the minutes of the Town Council planning meeting held on the 7th of December. I have those in front of me.
If I may, I'll propose that they are a true record because it's quite a short one, that one.
It was a short one. Thank you, Councillor Martin. Do we have a seconder?
Happy to second.
Councillor Williams, thank you. And can we all vote on that? Yes, all of us, thank you. Item 4, to receive the planning schedule dated the 7th. I'll have a copy of that here. Again, do I have someone to propose we accept that as true record? Councillor Martin. And could I have a seconder? Councillor Williams. Could we all vote on that? Thank you. That's unanimous. Thank you. Item 5, to consider and make representations to the relevant authorities on planning applications contained in the enclosed list dated 21st of December. (2050-4852) TCA, Conservation Area Notification, 17 Norman Road, Pyracantha, approximate 10-foot high, 20-foot long, want to take approximate 24 inches, is that off the height? Because it's too high. 24 inches is only 2 foot. Councillor Williams, could you comment on that one? Thank you.
I'm happy to. Yeah, it's very specific amount to take off, but I think, well, I would propose no objection. I don't see any reason why we should object because I think it's quite straightforward, quite routine. So I'm happy to propose no objection.
Thank you. Do we have a seconder? Councillor Perkin. And could we vote on that? Thank you. 2050-5608 TCA, 6 Limes Place, Preston Street. Conservation area notification to reduce 1 tree at the back of the garden to a height of 3 metres and radial spread 2 metres. Again, Councillor Williams, would you like to comment?
Thank you. Well, looking at the photos, actually, I think this the garden is quite overgrown, so I think actually it's probably quite needed. So again, I'd propose no objection.
I would agree. Do we have a seconder? Councillor Martin, are we all in agreement? Can we vote on that? Yes, all in agreement. Thank you. 2050 5758 TCA, 7 Goldings Wharf, Belvedere Road, conservation area notification to fell 1 lime tree to the ground level. Purpose to replant with a more suitable specimen in the same area. Councillor Williams. Sorry.
I let Councillor Perkin go.
Yes, I wasn't sure.
Sorry, I was just going to, Councillor Saunders has just emailed asking for the link for the meeting, so I wondered if someone could just reply. Could you reply to him, please, Adrian? I can do it if not.
Right. Councillor Williams, would you like to comment on 7 Goldings Wharf?
Yeah, of course. This one, I wasn't entirely sure initially why it's being felled, but I think it's because it seems to be they seem to have problems with it interfering with services. I think basically that they feel that the tree is too big, or will get too big for that location. I haven't seen the tree. In an ideal world, would have been good to seen it, but I think to be honest, given how close it is to the building and the services, and the fact they want to plant another suitable tree, I would propose no objection. I think I never like to see trees being felled, but I think when they've got good reason to, and they're mitigating it by planting something more suitable, I think that's justifying it a little bit. So yeah, I would propose no objection.
Thank you. Do any comments or seconder?
I'm happy to second that, Councillor Martin.
Thank you. And can we all vote on that? Thank you. Yes, all voting yes. Thank you. Right, 2050 5814 TPO-A, 7 Russet Avenue. This is a long one. Tree preservation order application. Robinia, false acacia black locust. Very large, mature tree located in the rear garden near the shed and the holly. I feel suitable course of action to undertake will be to reduce the crown of the tree by the selective removal of between 2 to 3 metres from the branch tips, depending on the opportunities for cutting back to suitable live growth in each instance. This is in practice a reduction of leaf mass of approximately 25%. This figure is important as it is within the recommended guidelines stated by BS 3998 2010 recommendations for tree work. The large limb on the northern side of the tree going over the shed towards the holly to be reduced in mass by reducing the 30%, reducing the limb back to 4 to 5 metres to suitable growth. This will greatly reduce the leverage on the union between it and the main stem. Crown dimensions to reduce from 6 metres to 4.5 in radial spread and 15 metres to 12.5 metres in height. That is a large tree, a high tree. Any comment, Councillor Williams?
Thank you. Yeah, there's quite a lot of detail there, but I think in that because it's a tree preservation order, I think it's quite important that they did, and I'm glad they did, because I think you know, sometimes there's very little information. It's very difficult to make a judgment on it. So I think again, they're not. It's not too radical what they're doing. I think they're doing something that's probably necessary. You know, it's obviously causing problems, and Robinias are trees that I know that can be pruned fairly harshly if necessary. So personally, I would propose no objection as well with this one.
Thank you. Do we have a seconder? Councillor Martin? And could we vote on that, please? And the cat? Thank you. 20, 50, 52, 67 full, 31 Lammas Gate, Faversham, Abbey Ward. Demolition of existing conservatory and erection of 3-storey side and rear extension incorporating ground floor porch and balcony over. Have we got anyone with any comments on that one? I've got lots of drawings here. Quite a large extension. Councillor Perkin.
Thanks, Chair. Yeah, I was just going to, I'm a bit conflicted on it essentially, and I'd be interested to hear other people's opinions on it. I noticed that the Faversham Society have raised objections because of how deliberately different the extension is to the rest of the property. And in the heritage statement, it does say that the extension is supposed to look like its own entity and not blend in with the other aspects of the house, which I can understand in a conservation area is quite difficult. But then it's visible. It's not visible from Abbey Street, but it is visible from the northwest side of the creek. And that the actual extension that's been proposed is quite in keeping with the more modern houses that are on Standard Lane and in around that kind of area. So I'd be interested in people's thoughts. I think it's a very large extension, and it is very different from what is there at the moment. So yeah, I'd just be interested to hear other people's opinions on it, please.
Thank you. Any Councillor Williams, you'd like to come in?
Thank you. Well, I had very similar views to Councillor Perkin. Really, I when I first read through it, and as I said, it's quite a big kind of substantial extension, really, in quite a small space, or relatively speaking, and it's in probably quite a. I know it's not being seen, it's not visible from Abbey Street, but it's in quite a sensitive area as well. My initial thoughts was I felt it may be a bit too big as an extension, and my initial thoughts was we should object, but I'm coming at it from a kind of just that visual point of view, really, more than anything. It doesn't seem like it would interfere too much with the neighbours. I think there seems to be sufficient space, but I would be quite inclined to object. That's my view.
Thank you. Councillor Saunders.
Thank you, Chair. Are we talking about 31 Lammas Gate?
We are.
Right,
yes.
Okay. Yeah, I think we should object to this. On the application form, they say that this is the extension isn't visible from any road or footpath, but my understanding is that it would be visible from Belvedere Road and from the footpath that runs from Belvedere Road to Standard Quay. And it's, as other people have said, it's a large extension. It's interrupting views, which are quite important views, and it's out of keeping with the rest of the development. So I think it would be sensible for us to object to it.
Thank you. I agree. Councillor Martin.
Yeah, I concur with what Councillor Saunders said there, and I refer to plate 3 of the photographs that they've actually provided, which clearly shows the top of a conservatory, and that extension would dominate standard cottages, which are adjacent to the footpath through there. So dependent on, I think this is a little premature in an application, in that I know there is applications for the site immediately adjacent and on the creek side. But until that has been planning has been determined for that, I would object, because it may be totally out of keeping what is being proposed. It may be totally in keeping, but at this stage it's certainly out of keeping with what's there.
Thank you. Any other comments? No. So proposed objection, Councillor Williams, seconded by Councillor Martin. Could we all vote on that? Or was it Councillor Saunders? Councillor Saunders maybe as well.
Councillor Saunders proposed.
Thank you. Thank you. And we've all voted to object. Thank you. 2050 52 8 full 72 St Mary's Road, Faversham. Erection of front porch and a single-storey rear extension with internal alterations. I feel we've had this before, haven't we?
Yeah, we've already commented.
Yeah, so we can just put that one. Yes, thank you. 2053 86.
Madam Mayor.
Sorry.
Can I just, on the planning application previously, it's
Yes.
quoted, I think the number is slightly wrong on it because I couldn't get it to come up. I think
Yeah,
it's missing
you're right. There
It's
was
missing a
one
4 on the end, I think.
You're
Yeah,
right.
we've already commented though, Councillor Perkin.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
fine.
so
So-
thank you. Yes, it was 2050 52 84. Thank you. 2020 53 86. Land at Perry Court, Tetton Hall Way. Advertisement consent for internally illuminated double-sided totem pole. Again, any comments on this one? Picture, obviously Aldi. Anyone with any comments, or Councillor Martin?
I defer to Councillor Williams, who got his hand up before me.
Or before, Councillor Williams?
Well, yeah, we might come to the same conclusion. You never know.
Yeah.
I mean, we've had quite a few of these sort of illuminated kind of signs and things from this development come up. I mean, clearly, businesses obviously want to have advertising boards, you know, to say that they're there. My slight concern with it is that some of the neighbours opposite have already one of the neighbours actually made a comment and objection anyway, but I know it's not in my ward, but I have spoken to a few people just you know, and there's a lot of people that have already got a lot of problems with the light pollution from the building itself, because obviously it's got to be lit up for quite a considerable amount of time, and also headlights. And I just wonder really whether, because Aldi is quite a sort of substantial and quite imposing building, and I do wonder whether actually is that necessary or not. I mean, clearly they obviously want to advertise they're there, so I'm not sure really, but I do think the concerns of the neighbours are quite important. So to be honest, I don't know either way, if I'm honest, but I just wanted to make that comment.
Thank you. Have we any other comments, Councillor Martin?
Yeah, looking at this one, I note that there are some objections from neighbours, but the planting that is due to mitigate some of their concerns can't be planted until April.
No.
So whilst it's one of those where the total design, probably this wouldn't be as intrusive.
No.
Although it's obviously designed to attract people coming from Faversham, coming up to the roundabout to give them the opening hours and what have you.
It is.
So it may, I think it serves a purpose. I am not, although lighting is my subject, I haven't done the calculations around the luminosity of said structure. But what I would say is, I think this is something that will obviously be considered by officers quite closely at the borough level, and I am I'm unsure whether to object or not, but I think in a way we should object to this, as we objected to a previous totem request.
Thank you. Any other comments? So Councillor Williams, you propose we object. Councillor Martin, you're seconding.
Councillor Saunders raised his hand there to speak.
Councillor Saunders.
Well, only to say really, I don't think we should object to this. I think, as Councillor Martin said, if it was outside of the kind of rules, the officers would pick that up. I don't have a particular objection to this. I understand that nearby neighbours might feel it was going to be intrusive, but I think, to be honest, I wouldn't have an objection. So that's just my view.
Yes, thank you. Councillor Williams.
I just to clarify, I didn't propose objection. I wasn't either way, to be honest. I'm quite happy to. I was looking to colleagues' kind of views on that. So just to make this clear.
Right.
I propose therefore no objection.
And I would second that. Can you all vote on that? No objection. Councillor Saunders is yes. Councillor Williams, yes. Councillor Perkins, yes. So we're no objection on that. Thank you. I think that would happen anyway. 2050-5409, 22 Offspring Street. Listed building consent for insertion of replacement new windows, move rear door, 2 rear roof lights to cat slide roof, demolition and insertion of replacement staircases, demolition and direction of new internal walls, reinstate ingle nook fireplace, remove rear cement render with replacement timber clad, and in brackets work complete. So are we debating this, or has it all been done? Adrienne, can I ask you that question? 20, oh, I've got 22 Offsprings here. Are there any comments? Councillor Perkin.
Yeah, I think some of it is part retrospective,
Yeah.
but the state of the property is quite bad. It looks quite derelict and run down on the front, and I think that the work on the inside that is planned is quite sensible in bringing the property back into kind of a habitable state. So I wouldn't have any objection to what they've proposed.
Thank you. Any other comments? Councillor Saunders.
Thank you. Yeah, I walk past this property very regularly, and it was a real eyesore for a period of time after the butcher's closed. In fact, my wife at one stage tried to do a bit of guerrilla gardening because the front gardening was so unpleasant, to get it sorted out. And I would have to say it now looks so much better. The frontage looks very attractive, and you can't really see the work at the back. I mean, I've obviously haven't seen the interior work. I don't think there's any reason to object. I think the shame is that the position of the house is very poor right on the A2. And although I note that although the houses have been for sale for quite a while, and other properties seem to be selling very quickly, these are sticking, and I think it is the location. So I think it is in a far better appearance-wise and state now than it was before this presumably work that's been done now was done. So I don't think we should object.
So Councillor Perkin proposes no objection. Councillor Saunders, you're seconding. Councillors, could we vote on that proposal? We're all in favour of that. Thank you. 2050-5450, 1 St Mary's Road, erection of single-storey side extension and creation of first floor to existing garage to create 1-bedroom flat with roof lights and sun pipe, including insertion of replacement garage door and part conversion of garage into store with external alterations. Do we have any comments on that proposal? Councillor Williams.
Thank you. Interestingly, I didn't realise until this application came up that the garage was actually belonged to that property. I knew the garage was there, and I just thought it was to the other property. I suppose this is one of the kind of houses at the beginning of the road that has a bit more external space than the sort of more terrace houses further down. So in terms of that, it doesn't look like it would cause any major problems to neighbours. And obviously opposite, you've got businesses there, so as well. I guess in a sort of an urban area, to create some extra accommodation can be quite beneficial. It does look like they're going to do it to quite a nice standard, so it should be, the appearance should be quite good. So I personally didn't see any reason to object. But I'd be interested to see if anyone else has any views on that.
Any other councillors? Councillor Perkin?
Yeah, I'd be minded to support an objection. I think that what they've done is fairly in keeping with the original building. They've made an effort to make sure that the pitch of the roof is the same height as the corresponding house. So also in terms of what the Community Land Trust survey came back with, needing smaller properties, 1-bedroom houses, particularly in Faversham, I think that another flat is obviously a bonus.
Thank you. Any other comments? So can we vote on the proposal not to object? That's everyone, isn't it? Thank you. I think they may have been using the top as a B&B. I met Paula Burrows, who stayed in Faversham last year, and so perhaps now they've decided a flat would be good rather than just using that roof space. There we go. I think, was that the last? Oh no, one more. 31 Hilton Close, 2050 56 97. Conversion of garage into habitable space, erection of single-storey rear and first floor side extensions. Have we any comments on that one? Councillor Martin, no? Yes?
Councillor Williams was first.
Oh, was it Councillor Williams? Sorry.
No, I didn't see anyone with their hands up, so I'm quite happy, Councillor Martin, if you've got something to comment. I was just...
Hilton Close is an interesting area, but look, and it's a relatively new development, and I can't see any reason for us to reject this particular application. So my proposal would be no objection.
Thank you. Any other comments? No. Do we have a seconder for that proposal?
Happy. Yeah.
Councillor Perkin? Yes. Thank you. So can we all vote on that? No objection. 31. Thank you. I do believe that is the last item that we need to discuss. And so